Group A, first secret to racing is we get ahead of people right away. So we're going to start going this way immediately. You can tell he's done this before. Instructions doesn't start until we're winning. We gotta win first.
And then I'm going to dive into the forward stroke with you guys, right? So just to cover some basic longboat stuff. First of all, this is a really long lever. In your short boats, you're able to drift in the thing sideways and sweep that sucker around. It doesn't work in these boats because it's a much longer lever. So try and narrow down those angles you guys are working in, and you'll find it's a whole lot easier to fight in the boat. Secondly, as already mentioned, it is a long lever. If you're moving faster than the water, you're in control. Moving slower in the water, it's going to be in control. Moving long boat, it's going to grab you. As you get into the Whitewater, just keep those two things in mind, and it's going to be smooth sailing. Right, so I'm going to dive into the forward stroke. The forward stroke, principally, is super easy, right? You're just pushing that boat forwards. I want you to stop thinking about putting the paddle through the water. I want you to start thinking about putting the paddle in the water and pushing the boat forwards from the abs and your legs. You should basically be running on your foot pegs, right? So we want to plant that paddle in as far forward as we can. Think about grabbing hold of a big metal pole that's in the water, and then we push that boat forwards with our legs. If you're doing it right, you should literally be running on your foot braces. You should be feeling your legs. Your legs push on the brace, and those knees get a little bit light with every push. So for the next couple of seconds here, let's paddle downstream, and let's bring our consciousness to our feet and our knees. Think about pushing the boat forward, not pulling the blade through the water. Yeah, how'd that feel? Could you feel the energy that you're creating with your body and the paddle translating through your feet?
More so, yeah.
That's how you go fast. We have to bring all this energy from our paddles and our core and push it into pushing that boat forwards. So quick question, let's pretend we're in a weight room. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to lift as much weight as you can. If I hand you a 20-pound weight, you probably go really fast, right? Or I can hand you a 100-pound weight and you'll go super slow if you're lifting a lot of weight. Which is the correct way?
20-pound weight.
Exactly, there is no correct way. Like some of us are grinders, some of us have a slow stroke rate where we're putting a lot of power through the paddle. Some of us are spinners, some of us have a high stroke rate, but there's less power being translated through your body. If you want to be Chris Troutman or Dane Jackson, you need to be able to do both, but for the majority of us, the answer is they're all correct. So as you go through today, play around with that. Play around with high stroke rate versus high power. See which one works for you out here. In these long boats, you have a huge power band. What I mean by that is from dead stop to its top end speed is really big compared to like a 6-foot freak boat. That's a really narrow power band. We've got a lot of potential power right here. So let's play around with high stroke rate, high frequency versus low frequency, high torque. See what works for your body in these boats.
Can you tell us where the release would be on it?
Yep, the release with a forward stroke is at your hips. Imagine you've got a steel rod at your hips. When that paddle hits the steel rod, slide it off the rod. If it's happening behind you, you're slowing the boat down. So all your power is from your feet to your hips. And as we move downstream, we'll dive into more of these intricacies about maximizing the potential speed of these boats. But it's all from toes to hips. And of course, you'll know this, it's rotation. It's not arms. So, put the paddle in up by your toes, push the boat forwards with your feet.
Try to get paddling through this rapid, try to make all of your strokes count as in pushing you towards the finish line. Try to eliminate any back strokes or turning strokes if you can. Think about watch where you're going. Think about it in advance to avoid turning strokes.
Hey guys, Ryan wants to start. You're just talking to Ryan about the top hand. If your top hand is down here and you're paddling forwards, you're creating a stroke that goes away from your boat. Those are turning strokes. We want the stroke to be as close to the boat as we can. Do that by bringing that top hand up. And then somewhere around 10 hours.
Like you're trying to read the line.
Feeling good. Feeling good.
You've got the same thing going on that Ryan does.
Yeah.
Most people do it. It's like everything is just so low.
Right.
If you want to race, if you want to do attainments, we need to translate as much power as you can to push everybody forward. So bring that top hand up.
You want to be looking at the back of your hand more or less?
Almost. My coach used to tell me to put a wristwatch on.
Yeah.
And I should be able to tell him the time with every stroke.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So get that blade as close to the boat as you can. Don't be afraid to hit your boat when you go down.
Are you putting power into the same foot that you're pulling on? Like the left and left and right and right?
Let me get up. I'm going to hang on to the back of your boat.
Yeah.
All I want you to do is paddle like hell to 10 strokes. And think about your feet, and your feet will automatically do the right thing. Go.
Okay.
Do your feet. Do your
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah, it's doing the left and right at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
That's exactly what you need to do day to day, every single stroke.
Now how about, you need to keep your boat as level as possible during that stroke, right? So the flatter you are, the better.
Boats are designed to do that, not that, not
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah. So you really don't want to be doing a lot of this.
Absolutely not.
So your shoulders need to just be rotating, sort of like the center of your chest is not really moving forward or back.
Correct. You've got to
Just go forward with rotation.
imagine you've got a
Think of it this way.
light on your chest.
Yeah.
Look this current. Let's say this current is
Got it.
That's how it works.
7 miles an hour.
Thanks.
You're doing this.
Yeah.
Boat's purposely slowing down every time the bell
8
goes.
miles an hour. Right?
I do that especially on
If
attainments.
you were to go 7 miles an hour in the middle of the current, how fast you get to the finish
Get
line?
how your feet work.
Yeah.
It's just someone to hang on to the back of your boat like that.
Start pulling.
Instantly, your feet will go.
How fast do you get there? Half a mile an hour. If you go just a little faster to 8 miles an hour, how much did you increase your speed by? Double it. Only half a mile an hour, but that doubles your speed to the finish line. If this river's 7 miles an hour and you're paddling upstream, if you go 7.5, you'll get there at half a mile an hour. If you go 8, you'll get there at 1 mile an hour. You're going twice as fast. Now, how does that apply to racing? When you're in really fast current, you're in really fast in a current, like a rapid like that, the water's really fast. If you go an extra mile an hour from, let's say, from 10 to 11, let's say that rapid's 12 miles an hour, and you go 7, you're going 19. If you go full speed at 8 miles an hour, you're only going 20. It's only a small difference, right? What that means is when you're going downstream, you put your energy, your hard paddling into the slower water. You can win the races in the slow water, you can lose them in the hard water. Meaning the big rapids that are technical with holes and waves and rocks, if you get your bow, lose a bow, drop your bow into a hole, get splashed by all the waves, that's when you lose the race because you're not paddling on the right line. So switch your gears down, slow it down, really look where you're going, and Chris is going to talk about this, really look where you're going and pick your line in the whitewater and make sure that you are in the fast water and the whitewater and you're running the whitewater well where you want to go. We'll discuss where that is later. But when you get to a pool, that's when you blow out your energy. So pacing is hard in the flats, control it in the whitewater. The faster the water, the slower you can go and still be fast. The slower the water, the faster you have to go to be fast. Make sense? Ways. Think of it as starting a lawnmower. You got a who's starting a lawnmower?
Everybody.
You know how you stick your foot on the thing and you really reach with the arm and then you pull back your shoulder blade on the arm. If you just went like this, it'd be like you'd never start the lawnmower. It's the same with the torso. It's the same idea. Like Chris was talking about reaching way forward. The way you reach way here, you can reach up to there and have a vertical paddle. If you, like a lawnmower, if you start with torso, you can reach a lot further. In other words, you can get a lot of your stroke without ever bending your arms. Right now, you guys are doing this. You can only pull back as fast as your arms can pull the blade, and you can't get as much distance out of the paddle because instead of going from here to here, you can only go from here to here. It's a shorter stroke. One way to know whether you're doing it, look at your life jacket. If it's not doing this, watch my life jacket. If it's not rubbing back and forth 45 degrees each way against your skirt, you're not actually rotating at the waist. That's a good way to coach yourself. Make sense? So Jeff, you want me to do it like this? Hey guys, one more important thing. Your blade angle. If your blade, you want to pull your boat forward, or I should say push your boat forward. If you reach forward like this at a blade angle that's, let's say 45 degrees, if I pull with 100 pounds right now, can anybody tell me how many of those 100 pounds are hauling my boat forward? 50, half. Vertical paddle 100. So you lose 50% of your energy doing this, or at the end of your stroke being back here, down here. So when you reach for a long forward stroke, you do not reach with your blade like this. The catch will feel powerful and you go, ah, and it's awesome, but you just lifted your bow in the air and it's a waste of energy. Top hand's job is to keep the blade as vertical as you can throughout the stroke. So when you're putting your hand paddles in, you need to pop your wrist down a little bit. Even if it feels more powerful, like a backstroke, this feels really powerful like this. Down here, but the reality is a lot of that power is just lifting your butt up. If you get your top hand up and you push back, your actual speed is higher and the energy is lower. Make sense?
Makes sense.
If you don't work each one, you always work your stroke at a certain pace. That's the only stroke you'll be doing it like. Literally, you'll go from a perfect stroke at this speed, and then you go to sprint and it'll fall apart. So primarily work it slow while you're trying to improve your stroke. Really slow. Then you can really focus on each individual element, and then have a medium pace where you can kind of like endurance pace, but then have a sprint pace, full sprint, and where you're trying to see, am I falling apart? Am I still doing torso? Am I keeping my head straight? So 3 different paces, otherwise you'll only have a good stroke at one pace. Most people fall apart the second they sprint. They immediately go to a shorter stroke, windmill, the paddle doesn't go in as far, they don't use torso. So if you can do, so the way I like to do it, I do 100 strokes every time I get in the water, 50 slow, it's slowly accelerating up, 25 medium, and then 25 full speed. And then that is both a warm-up, but it also gets you through the different paces, all while focusing on the same skill. Anyway, this recommendation. Hey, anybody? There's a variety of things you can do. I'm just going to paddle through. I'm going to take a lot of eddies and S-turns. If anybody wants to follow that line. If you want to go, we'll follow you. We'll follow Chris.
Don't talk, that's Snoopy.
You've never heard, right?
Yeah.
Let's go,
You go to the left or right?
so I know the rapid, but we're going to go like this. Zip through, cross eddies on the backside.
triangle, eyes, butt, where you're looking. Not staring at that bow, it's a teeny weeny triangle. Look up, look out. What's bigger triangle, way more stable. These boats move fast, right? So you sit up, but also the net effect of that is lifting up these big muscles here, right? So right now you're kind of like this, sit up, all these muscles all of a sudden free to work, right? So that's the net result of lifting up, sitting up. Now we've got these muscles free, reach forward, look at that. Everything for you is happening kind of right here. Don't be afraid to reach forward.
Great.
Good. Fun.
A lot of fun.
The best part about these boats is, for me, isn't paddling fast downriver.
Yeah.
But it's going downriver and coming across eddies and going in one side out the other. We're called S-turns.
Right.
And it could be, S-turns can be anywhere. Like it could be to the right of that hole with it bow a little bit in the hole, then coming across, catching an eddy, a ferry, carrying the speed over rocks. So basically carrying speed it's hard to carry in a shorter boat.
Right. Just making it nice and smooth.
What?
Making it nice and smooth.
Smooth and picking the angle so that there's a particular stroke that if you have actually carries your speed. It's a stroke.
I've watched that video a billion times.
So anyway,
yeah.
That's what makes
basically like a centerboard.
Yeah. And behind the butt slightly.
Yeah.
That's what makes the boat really carry its speed.
Okay.
So picking an angle that you can drop that in and sail across, almost accelerate across, is what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So like here, let's just turn around that hole.
Using that hang and draw stroke.
Shot, it's an awfully big smile.
A little bit starstruck today.
That's all good. Hey, one of the ultimate racing moves, like if you were racing from here to there, you don't want to go in the pit of the hole, you want to go across the foam and only drop in the pit at the very end to carve out. So, treat the hole like an eddy. Now the eddy's moving upstream, so you have to gauge how much time you've got to get across before you get sucked in.
Especially when you're racing in a longboat, you have to lift your vision up, and you're essentially analyzing two moves ahead while executing the moves that you've already looked at. And one thing that we talk about a lot, this will be interesting, we're about to run the largest raft on the river, 4 mile. One thing that we talk about a lot when we run the green race is when in doubt, especially your first year racing longboat, you enter the rapids slow and exit them fast. Okay, so when you're above a rapid, let's say you're in a pool, let's say you have a slide, and there's a pool above it and a pool below it. Where do you think you have the most, where do you think you can make up the most ground by paddling harder and putting more energy in?
Below.
Above or below?
Carry your speed and come out fast, plane out on the bottom pool.
Exactly, because you have the energy of the river behind you. You have an interface from moving very fast on a slide or in the current into a pool or an eddy. So if you move into it slowly and you make sure that you've got the correct line and then you come out of it planing, you're going to make up a ton of time. And that's kind of people get so freaked out when they get on the block and they start just paddling as fast as they can no matter where they're going. something that we say a lot is go slow to go fast. Take time to think, enter the routes properly, and exit very quickly. And I think that will apply down here in quarter mile.
Too easy. That's how we get in trouble.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Is he gonna? He's gonna. Oh, don't give up.
He's a beast.
Good grief.
Just a beast.
Good grief.
That's totally gonna go.
Wow.
Look like you're gonna tame this spot.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening today.
Let's go make the highlight reel.
No. We'll let that rat get on the way first. For starters.
Nice big undercut.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Thank you. I'm impressed.
That's not an easy attainment.
That was a boss move right there.
Good spot. Chris will do it.
Fired up, bro. Ah, he made it look easy.
Oh my God. Made it look good.
He was really booking it coming into there.
He was. It's supposed to be it down with
Get it over, you know.
If you want to tow the tether, you can. I was just going to push it, but if you want to tether it.
That's me. That's me.
What's that? What?
He's gonna tow me across. I tell you what, I'll hook mine to this boat. You just tow us both across.
That's awesome.
Yeah?
Put a hole, wave off and out, and then ride that across into the shallow stuff and then paddle right up. It looks like this.
Thanks. Huh?
It's cool, isn't it?
It is.
It's like right down the river.
It's like Disneyland.
I'll also give you my best explanation. The best person to speak to about a good forward stroke is Chris Hipgrave.
Yeah.
Like phenomenal forward stroke.
I meant to ask him about
But
that.
essentially, the sort of one is like just pushing forward. You want to utilize your trunk rotation more than utilizing your arms.
Yeah.
So really learning to actually body rotate, and that's something to watch with him. And just, I do it more so when I'm in my long boat than I forget it when I'm in a short boat. Just
Right.
consciously winding up and just so. And then that's going to set you, if the power stroke is a little less high angle, you're not necessarily going to reach through like that. It's going to make a wind from the middle. Definitely try to keep this blade and then let the top one naturally follow. Keep the blades close to the boat. I definitely talk with Chris about it, but one of the things I definitely learned, and this obviously applies when you're really just straight line, flat wall paddling, is keeping that stroke as close to the boat as possible.
Right.
That way everything's more efficient through the middle, you're not rocking side to side, you're not losing kind of the inefficiency and energy by sweeping out so wide. Because obviously the wider that sweep is, the more boat's going to turn, so you're putting some of that effort into sort of essentially the boat meandering around.
Pulling from left and right instead of forward.
Yeah, rather than being all into a full stroke. So chat with him about it, but place it with that paddle, and then really think about winding up from this also. I do it when I get in this boat, and I forget it when I get out to